Good morning, students. In today's lecture, I'll be discussing a case study for you all on activity diagram. Now, this is an ATM system for ABC Bank. Now, as I had discussed in my previous lectures on activity diagram, I hope all of you are able to identify that these three columns, account holder, ATM, and book server, these are nothing but swim lanes. So in an activity diagram, we use swim lanes to segregate the different aspects of an activity that is occurring. Fine. For example, some activities over here in an ATM system would be, done by the account holder. Some would be done by the ATM interface. And some activity would be done at the back end by the book server, or in other words, the bank server. Now, this example I've taken from Creately. I hope I have not uh, saying this again. I'm having a deja vu. Anyways, so the activity would start from the initial node. This black colored circle is nothing but the initial node of an activity diagram. So these arrows are nothing but transitions. Fine. So from the initial node, we go to the first activity, which is called the insert card activity. So these blue boxes are for the activity that is going to take place. Fine. From the insert card activity, the account holder then enters the PIN. He types the PIN into the ATM machine. Then what happens? He enters the submit button or the OK button. Fine. And the ATM machine starts validating the PIN. So what happens in the validation process? The booking server is asked to verify the PIN. This is an activity that is occurring at the book server or the bank server end. Fine. Now, when this activity triggers the decision activity, fine. Now what happens? A decision is going to take place whether the PIN is valid, whether the PIN that has been entered by the account holder is valid, or whether the PIN that the account holder has entered is invalid. So if it is an invalid PIN, this is the path that is going to take place. Fine. This is the path. And if it is a valid PIN, then we would go to the activity enter withdrawal amount. So let us first, take the path of invalid PIN. So if the PIN is found to be invalid, we reach a golden bar. Now, what is this golden bar? This golden bar is nothing but the merge bar. Fine. Over here, what happens? What is a merge? What is a merge in activity diagram? If you remember, okay. So what is a merge? A merge, what happens in a merge? Multiple alternate activities result in one outgoing activity. Now this merge can be shown using a diamond. In Creately, it is being shown using a bar only. Fine, as you can see, it is being shown using a golden bar only. Fine, for decision they have a diamond, but for merge they have this bar only. So this would depend on software to software. From software to software, this aspect of notations differ. Fine, and it's absolutely fine. You just write the software that you are using or that you are thinking you are using while creating a diagram in the exams. All faculty members are aware about the restrictions of various software. Fine. Now, so in merge what happens? Alternate flows enter and they result in one outgoing flow, resulting flow, because of which another activity is triggered. Fine. By alternate, I means either the first flow would result in this outgoing activity, or the second would result in this outgoing activity, or the third would go, result in the outgoing activity. It does not, it just means that it is not necessary that all three activities have to take place and only then this outgoing activity is triggered. Any of the three activity can take place in order to trigger this outgoing activity. Fine, this is merge. What happens in join? What happens in join? If you have, suppose, three incoming activities, all the three incoming activities have to finish in order for the outgoing activity to be triggered. This is the difference between a merge and a join. Fine. In merge, the alternate activities are just alternate, optional. Any of the activity can trigger the outgoing transition. But over here, all three are required to, get finished at this join line, and only then this third activity would be triggered. Right? Now, going back to our diagram. So, invalid pin leads us to this merge option, which in turn triggers an outgoing activity, which is nothing but log session out. Fine, it takes us to log session out. Now, what if the pin is valid? If the pin is valid, then we would take this route. Now the account holder is asked to enter the withdrawal amount, the amount that he wants to withdraw from the ATM machine. So suppose he puts 10,000 rupees here. When he has put 10,000 rupees here, then what happens? Verification at the bank server takes place. That whether this person, this gentleman or this woman has this amount in his or her bank or not. Fine. If the account now again two activities get triggered. So the first activity is the funds are found to be sufficient or the funds are found to be insufficient. Now again, if the funds are found to be insufficient, we are again at this golden bar, which is a merge bar. Fine. This is an alternate. These two are alternate flows, invalid pin and insufficient fund. So alternate flows, any of the two can trigger us or take us to the next activity, that is log session out. Again, log session out. Fine. Now, going back to the decision of checking funds, availability of funds. Now, if the funds are found to be sufficient, then we take this route and we reach a golden bar. Over here, this is a fork bar. Why? Why? Because one activity is being split into two activities. So the first activity that this sufficient fund activity is resulting in is called take funds. So what happens? The ATM machine puts the amount that the person has written into the slot from where he can withdraw the physical money. 10 rupees of 1,500 or whatever amount that is there in the ATM machine. The other activity that happens is remove funds from the account. Why? Because he has withdrawn 10,000. So his balance must be subtracted by rupees 10,000 now. So whatever amount he has withdrawn, that has to be subtracted from the account. Fine. So remove funds act from the account. Now once this is over, take funds would also, take you out or take you to log session out activity. Remove funds from the account would also take you to log session out activity. So that means what kind of bar is this? We are reaching here using three routes. One is take funds out, the other is remove funds from the account, and the third was when we were, alternating between insufficient funds and invalid pin. This route also took us to this lock session out. So this is again a merge back. Alternate. Either of the three routes can trigger an outgoing activity, which is lock session out activity. Fine. So once you enter lock session out activity, your cards get ejected, and then the account holder takes the card, and over here the activity diagram finishes. So this is the end of the activity diagram. I hope it is clear.